The Lost Ship. Chapter 1, The Disappearance. In 1897, the SS Calliope was a grand steamship renowned for its luxury and opulence. It set sail from London, bound for New York, carrying hundreds of passengers, including the wealthy, famous, and hopeful immigrants seeking a new life. The voyage was meant to be routine, but the ship never reached its destination. It vanished without a trace, leaving behind no clues, no wreckage, and no survivors. The mystery of the SS Calliope's disappearance became one of the most enduring maritime enigmas. Chapter 2, The Last Voyage. Captain Elias Blackwell, a seasoned mariner with an impeccable record, commanded the SS Calliope. The voyage started smoothly, with calm seas and clear skies. The passengers enjoyed the ship's lavish amenities, unaware of the dark fate that awaited them. On the fifth night, the ship sailed into an eerie, dense fog. The air grew cold, and visibility dropped to near zero. Captain Blackwell ordered the crew to slow down and sound the horn, but the fog seemed to swallow the sound. The ship's compass began to spin wildly, and strange, ghostly lights appeared in the distance. Passengers and crew alike reported feeling a sense of dread. Whispers echoed through the halls, and shadowy figures were seen moving about the decks. As the fog thickened, the Calliope seemed to enter another world, one shrouded in darkness and silence. Chapter 3, Into the Unknown. Despite their best efforts, the crew couldn't navigate out of the fog. The ship's instruments malfunctioned, and communication with the outside world was lost. Panic began to set in as the days turned into weeks. Supplies dwindled, and the once grand ship descended into chaos. One by one, passengers and crew members disappeared. Some claimed to see their loved ones walking into the fog, drawn by an unseen force. Others heard the cries of those who had vanished, echoing through the night. Captain Blackwell and his officers searched desperately for answers but found none. On the 31st day, the Calliope vanished completely. It was as if the ship and everyone on board had been swallowed by the sea. The world mourned the loss, but without any trace, the story of the SS Calliope became a legend, a cautionary tale told by sailors and whispered about in coastal towns. Chapter 4, The Return. Decades passed, and the memory of the Calliope faded into obscurity. But in 2021, a fishing trawler off the coast of Nova Scotia spotted a massive, rusted hulk emerging from the fog. It was the SS Calliope, seemingly untouched by time. The authorities quickly cordoned off the area, and a team of investigators, including marine archaeologists, historians, and paranormal experts, was assembled to explore the ship. Dr. Emily Grant, a renowned marine historian, led the team. As they approached the Calliope, a sense of unease settled over them. The ship loomed in the fog, its once luxurious exterior now corroded and decayed. Chapter 5, The Exploration. Boarding the Calliope was like stepping into a time capsule. Everything was as it had been in 1897, but covered in a thick layer of dust and cobwebs. The investigators moved cautiously, documenting their findings and trying to piece together what had happened. In the grand ballroom, they found tables still set for dinner, with plates of food that had long since rotted away. Personal belongings were scattered about, as if the passengers had simply vanished. The air was thick with the scent of decay and something old and sinister. As they ventured deeper into the ship, the investigators encountered eerie sights, clothing laid out as if someone had just stepped out of them, toys abandoned in the middle of play, and eerie, childlike drawings on the walls depicting shadowy figures and monstrous shapes. Chapter 6, The Diary. In one of the luxurious suites, Dr. Grant discovered a leather-bound diary. It belonged to a young woman named Clara Morton, who had been traveling with her family. Clara's entries started with excitement about the voyage, but quickly turned to terror as the fog set in. She wrote about the strange lights, the whispers in the dark, and the growing fear among the passengers. Her final entry was chilling: "The fog is alive. It whispers my name and beckons me into its cold embrace. Mother and father are gone. I saw them walk into the mist, smiling as if they had found paradise. I hear it calling me too. I don't want to go, but I can't resist. It's coming for us all." Chapter 7, The Spirits. As night fell, the team decided to camp on the ship, hoping to uncover more clues. They set up cameras and recording equipment to document any paranormal activity. The atmosphere grew colder, and the sense of dread intensified. At midnight, the whispering began. Soft at first, then growing louder, filling the ship with an eerie chorus of voices. The investigators saw shadowy figures flitting about, and the cameras captured fleeting images of ghostly apparitions. Dr. Grant and her team realized they were not alone. The spirits of the passengers and crew were still on board, trapped in a perpetual state of terror. The investigators attempted to communicate with the spirits, using old maritime logs and Clara's diary as a guide. Chapter 8, The Unraveling. The spirits revealed a horrifying truth. The fog that had engulfed the Calliope was a gateway to another realm, a dark dimension where lost souls were doomed to wander forever. The ship had crossed into this realm, and its passengers had been lured by the promise of salvation, only to be consumed by the malevolent entities that dwelled there. Dr. Grant and her team knew they had to find a way to close the gateway and release the trapped souls. They discovered that the ship's logbook, kept in the captain's cabin, held the key. The final entry, written by Captain Blackwell, detailed a ritual to seal the gateway, but it required a sacrifice. Chapter 9, The Sacrifice. The investigators debated the ethics of performing the ritual. They knew that closing the gateway would free the souls but also condemn one of them to remain behind as the guardian. Dr. Grant, feeling a deep sense of responsibility, volunteered. As they performed the ritual, the ship began to shake violently. The fog thickened, and the ghostly apparitions surrounded them, their faces contorted with fear and desperation. Dr. Grant recited the incantation from the logbook, and a blinding light enveloped the Calliope. The investigators were thrown off the ship as it began to sink into the ocean. They watched in awe and horror as the fog lifted and the Calliope disappeared beneath the waves, taking Dr. Grant and the restless spirits with it. Chapter 10, The Aftermath. The survivors were rescued by a passing vessel and returned to the mainland. They shared their story, but many were skeptical. The government quickly classified the incident, and the area where the Calliope had been found was declared off-limits. Years later, the investigators still carried the scars of their experience. They knew the truth and honored Dr. Grant's sacrifice by continuing their research into the paranormal, hoping to prevent others from suffering the same fate. Chapter 11, The Legacy. The legend of the SS Calliope lived on, whispered about in hushed tones by those who knew the truth. Fishermen claimed to see the ship's ghostly outline on foggy nights, and some said they could still hear the whispers of the lost souls, calling out for release. The story of the Calliope and its return from the abyss became a cautionary tale, a reminder of the thin veil between our world and the unknown, and the dangers that lurk in the darkness, waiting to claim the unwary. Chapter 12, The Forgotten Truth. Decades after the Calliope's final disappearance, a group of young urban explorers, driven by the lure of forbidden knowledge and adventure, set out to uncover the ship's secrets. Led by Jake, an avid historian with a passion for unsolved mysteries, the group consisted of Claire, a photographer with a knack for capturing the supernatural, Mike, a tech wizard, and Lisa, a skeptic determined to debunk the legend. They researched meticulously, piecing together fragmented stories and obscure references. The group's determination was fueled by the hope of finding Dr. Grant's lost recordings, believed to contain invaluable insights into the paranormal. Chapter 13, The Expedition. Armed with modern technology and a deep sense of purpose, the group chartered a boat to the last known location of the Calliope. The sea was eerily calm as they approached the area where the ship had been spotted. The fog, reminiscent of the descriptions from 1897, began to envelop them, thickening with each passing moment. The group's excitement mingled with apprehension as they saw the rusted hulk of the Calliope looming in the fog. Boarding the ship, they were struck by the palpable sense of history and dread that permeated the air. The silence was oppressive, broken only by the distant lapping of waves against the hull. Chapter 14, The Haunting. As the explorers ventured deeper into the ship, they encountered phenomena that defied explanation. Cold spots, disembodied whispers, and fleeting shadows unnerved even the skeptical Lisa. Claire's camera captured inexplicable images, faces in the mist, ghostly figures reaching out, and strange symbols scrawled in long-dried blood. Jake discovered Clara Morton's diary, picking up where Dr. Grant had left off. Her final entries hinted at the existence of a powerful artifact, the Heart of the Abyss. That could either seal the gateway or unleash unimaginable horrors. The artifact was said to be hidden in the depths of the ship, guarded by the restless spirits of the crew. Chapter 15, The Descent. Determined to find the Heart of the Abyss, the group descended into the lower decks. The air grew colder, and the sense of dread intensified. They found themselves navigating through a labyrinth of narrow corridors, their flashlights casting eerie shadows on the walls. The deeper they went, the more aggressive the manifestations became. Objects moved on their own, and the walls seemed to pulse with malevolent energy. The group realized they were not alone. The spirits of the Calliope's crew were watching, waiting. Chapter 16, The Revelation. In the bowels of the ship, they found the artifact, a black, pulsating crystal encased in a rusted metal box. The air around it was frigid, and the whispers grew louder, forming a cacophony of voices pleading, warning, and threatening. As Jake reached for the box, the spirits materialized, their faces twisted in agony and rage. The group fought to resist the overwhelming sense of despair that threatened to consume them. Claire's camera captured the horrific scene, the spirit's anguish etched in every frame. Chapter 17, The Sacrifice. Realizing the danger, Jake understood that the Heart of the Abyss needed to be destroyed. The spirits, however, would not allow it to be so easy. They lashed out, causing the ship to shake violently. In the chaos, Mike was thrown across the room, hitting his head and losing consciousness. With time running out, Jake performed the ritual described in Clara's diary, invoking the names of the lost and reciting the ancient incantation. The spirits howled in fury as the Heart of the Abyss shattered, releasing a blinding light that enveloped the ship. Chapter 18, The Escape. The group was hurled out of the ship and into the cold ocean. Dazed and disoriented, they were rescued by their charter boat, which had been waiting anxiously. As they watched, the Calliope sank beneath the waves once more, taking its dark secrets with it. Jake, Claire, and Lisa returned to the mainland, their experience forever etched in their minds. They shared their story, but many were skeptical, dismissing it as a fantastical tale. The government once again classified the incident, but the legend of the Calliope persisted. Chapter 19, The New Guardians. Haunted by their ordeal, the survivors dedicated their lives to studying the paranormal, hoping to uncover the truth about the Calliope and prevent future tragedies. Jake published a book detailing their experience, sparking renewed interest in the legend and attracting others to the field. Claire's photographs, initially dismissed as hoaxes, became a powerful testament to their journey, revealing glimpses of the supernatural that captivated and terrified audiences. Lisa, once a skeptic, became a fierce advocate for paranormal research, using her analytical skills to investigate and debunk false claims. Chapter 20, The Eternal Vigil. The SS Calliope's story became a cautionary tale, a reminder of the thin veil between our world and the unknown. Fishermen and sailors continued to report sightings of the ship, its ghostly outline appearing on foggy nights, and the whispers of the lost souls echoed across the waters. The legend of the Calliope served as a beacon for those who sought to understand the mysteries of the paranormal, a symbol of the eternal struggle between light and darkness. The ship, now a part of maritime lore, stood as a testament to the courage and sacrifice of those who dared to face the unknown. As the years passed, the Calliope's story continued to inspire and terrify, a chilling reminder of the dangers that lurk in the shadows, waiting to claim the unwary. The lost ship and its haunting legacy endured, a symbol of the enduring power of the human spirit and the mysteries that lie just beyond our grasp.
Don't forget to subscribe.